ॐ वक्रतुण्डमहाकाय सूर्यकोटिसमप्रभ निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा सरस्वति नमस्तुभ्यं वरदे कामरूपिणि विद्यारम्भं करिष्यामि सिद्धिर्भवतु मे सदा गुरवे सर्वलोकानां भिषजे भवरोगिणां निधये सर्वविद्यानां दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। नारायणं पद्मभुवं वसिष्ठं शक्तिं च तत्पुत्रपराशरं च व्यासं शुकं गौडपदं महान्तं गोविन्दयोगीन्द्रमथास्य शिष्यम् श्रीशङ्कराचार्यमथास्य पद्मपादं च हस्तामलकं च शिष्यं तं तोटकं वार्तिककारमन्यान् अस्मद्गुरून् सन्ततमानतोऽस्मि। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयम् नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करम्। अपारकरुणा सिन्धुं ज्ञानदं शान्तरूपिणम् श्रीचन्द्रशेखरगुरुं प्रणमामि मुदान्वहम्। यत्कृपालेशमात्रेण पुमान् पूर्णः प्रजायते तं वन्दे ब्रह्मविद्भुर्यं सद्गुरुं चन्द्रशेखरम्। संसारसागरनिमग्नजनोदिधीर्षुः यो वातरच्छिवनृसिंहगुरुच्छलेन जाड्यान्धकारहरणं करुणासमुद्रम् तं दक्षिणास्य मनिशं हृदि भावयामि। सदात्मध्याननिरतं विषयेभ्यः पराङ्खम् नौमि शास्त्रेषु निष्णातं चन्द्रशेखरभारतीम्। साक्षात्कृतं दयानन्दं परमार्थस्वरूपिणम् तत्त्वज्ञानप्रशास्तारं प्रणतोऽस्मि परं पदम्। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। उक्तसाधनसम्पन्नस्तत्त्वजिज्ञासुरात्मनः उपसीदेत् गुरुं प्राज्ञं यस्मात् बन्धविमोक्षणम्।
उपसीदेत् गुरुं यस्मात् बन्धविमोक्षणम्।
This was the last shloka we were discussing. पूर्वोक्त साधन संपन्नस्य कृत्यम् आह उक्त इति। उक्त साधन संपन्नः तत्त्व जिज्ञासुरात्मनः उपसीदेत् गुरुं प्राज्ञम् यस्मात् बंध विमोक्षणम्. Having talked about what is bhakti in the previous shloka, sadhana chatushtaya sampatti, and what is the definition of bhakti, parabhakti, then that parabhakti is jnanam eva. Bhakti and jnanam, there is no difference. How to gain this jnanam, atma jnanam? So therefore, for a person who is endowed with sadhana chatushtaya sampanna, and the person who is desirous of gaining atma jnanam, for him what is the way? How does he gain knowledge? That is said. That is Guru Upasadanam, approaching the Guru. The knowledge has to be gained from the Guru. Shastra Jnanam, that is Brahma Jnanam, Vedanta Jnanam, Brahma Jnanam. It is not possible without the help of a Guru. Even if it is possible, even if the person does, then it won't be fruitful or maybe counterproductive. Therefore, one should learn from a teacher. So therefore, Guru Upasadanam. So the person is endowed with the sadhana chatushtaya sampanna, meaning the person is adhikari. Purvokta sadhana chatushtaya sampannasya. Ukta sadhana sampannaha. Uktani sadhanani purvam pratipaditani sadhanani. That is Viveka Vairagyadini sadhanani. Nitya vastu vivekaha. Viragha ihamutrartha palabhoga viragha. Shamadishatka sampattihi mumukshutvam. The four qualifications. The person who is endowed with this before Ukta Sadhana Sampannaha, and the person is Jignasu, Jnatum Ichuhu, Tattvam Jnatum Ichuhu, Ye Tattva Jnanam Praptam Ichanti Te Tattva Jignasuhu. Those who are desirous of knowing the Tattvam, the truth, Atma Tattvam, Yathartha Swarupam, the real nature of oneself, they are Tattva Jignasuhu. Tattva Jignasuhu Ichuhu. They are desirous. Atma Jnana Ichuhu. Ichuhu means the person who who has desirous of knowing Brahma, because knowing Brahma is gaining Brahma, because it is oneself. Therefore, Tattvam Jnatum Ichuhu Jignasuhu Atmanaha. The word Atmanaha is Atmanaha Tattvam, Atma Tattvam, Brahma Tattvam. So, referring to the person who is or who has a desire to know Atma Tattvam, the Swarupam of Atma, oneself. Swarupam of Atma, it is myself, therefore why can't I know by myself? We cannot know, because our sense organs are made extrovert. Paranchikani vitamnat swayambhu parang pashyati, nantaratma. Sense organs are naturally created to be extrovert. We can perceive objects, Vishayas which are outside, and gain the knowledge of them with or without anybody's help. Now, this is here the subject matter is Atma, that is oneself. The sense organs have no scope. With the sense organs, we cannot know. Na chakshusha agrigete na pivacha, nanye devi tapasa karmanava. Mundaka Upanishad we have seen. By eyes, it cannot be known, not by any other sense organs, not by tapas, not by upasana, because it is yatadadresham agragam agotram avarnam achakshushotram tadapanipadam nityam vibhum sarvagatam chasukshmam tadavyam yadbhutayoni paripashyanti dhiraha. It is adresham, it cannot be seen, it cannot be heard, it cannot be grasped by hand. It was not born, agotram. It doesn't have any varna, no color. And it is sukshma, sukshma vishaya. Subject matter is subtle because it is oneself. Since our sense organs are directed outwards, extrovert, with the sense organs we can objectify things which are objectifiable. Atma is not objectifiable. Therefore, we cannot know Atma as an object, and therefore we require Shastram and Guru as like a mirror. The mirror reflects. That's why Shastram is called Darpana, Shastra Darpana. Shastra is like a mirror. You see the reflection of your face in the mirror. So like a mirror. Shastram, like a mirror, it presents the Atma Tattvam. And that also has to be properly taught. Therefore, Guru is required. Therefore, Upasidet, may a person, Upasidet means Sharanam Gachet, Prapnuyat, Gurum Prapnuyat. May the person who is a mumukshu, the desirous of knowing Atma, because he has understood that knowledge, that is, the moksha is only through knowledge. First, he is a mumukshu. He wants to be free from samsara, wants to be free from the sense of inadequacy, apurnatvam. Then that the wanting to be free, that is mumukshutvam, and that is converted into jignasa. Moksha is converted into jignasa. Freedom is possible only through jnanam. And jnanam of what? Jnanam of not any other thing. Jnanam of oneself. Knowing oneself, the swarupa of oneself, one becomes free. Does it mean the person doesn't know himself? He knows, but not completely, not correctly. There's a mistake. An error is committed in knowing that I is mixed with the I, the Shuddha Chaitanyam, the consciousness, Atma, any word we use, or Brahma. It is mixed with Upadhi. Upadhi is this body, mind, sense complex, Anatma. So Atma and Anatma, both are mixed up. Both are mixed up like water and milk. So it's difficult to separate them and understand as Atma and Anatma. They are so tightly mixed up. Therefore, it requires a discerning mind, a yogyata, to separately understand. The mixing up of this Atma Anatma, which cannot really mixed up, but mixing up as though because of Maya, because Maya can do what is not possible is made possible by Maya. Agatita Katana Patiyasi Maya. Maya is that which makes the thing impossible thing also possible. That is the greatness of the Maya. Nirupama Nirupama Nitya Niramshake Pyakande Magikiti Sarva Vikalpanadi Shunye Katayati Jagadisha Jiva Bedam to Agatita Katana Patiyasi Maya. The Maya Panchakam Acharya says, Aham Nityaha, that is Atma Aham, not bound by time. Nirupamam, Nirupama is Atma is not available for comparing with anything. Atma is Atma. There is no second thing to compare with. This Upama is also a Pramana. Among the Shat Pramanani, six Pramana, Upama is a Pramana. We gain knowledge of a thing through comparison. Upamanam. Knowledge of a thing, not exactly close understanding of a thing. Like you see some antelope in a forest. How does it look like? It looks like the the deer. Some comparison is given. It has four legs, tail, head. So comparison, we understand that animal must be like an antelope. So what about Atma? Comparing Atma with something, it's not possible. Incomparable, it is beyond comparison. That is myself. Atma doesn't have parts. Body has got parts. Body is limited. It is put together. Assemblage. Atma is not put together. That's why it is akhanda, divisionless, and sarva vikalpanadi shunya, which is free from all kinds of vikalpa, that is superimposition, that on which nothing can be superimposed. But superimposition is done. That is maya, ajnanam. Like you see the snake in a rope. Snake is not a rope. Asarpa bhuteshu rajjo. Sarparopaha adhyasaha adhyaropaha. A rope is there, but rope is not recognized as a rope. It is seen as a snake because of darkness or because of dim light, not able to recognize a rope. On that rope, you superimpose a snake and therefore you tremble, you get frightened. How is it possible? It is possible. So therefore, similarly, Maya also makes it possible. Mixture of Atma and Anatma, which is impossible, is made possible. Therefore, you have to separately, discerningly discern and understand, which cannot be done by oneself. Therefore, upasidet gurum prapniyat. Katam tadviddhi pranipatena pariprasnena sevaya. So approaching the Guru with vinaya, with humility, and ready to receive knowledge, or in the language of the Upanishad, Samitpanihi Shotriyam Brahmanishtam, having the Samit in his hand. Samit stands for something which is useful for the Guru and the Gurukulam, Dakshina, etc. Having that as an offering to the teacher. So with that, the person must approach the Guru. This is the protocol. Upanishad says, Yukta astam na gachet. When you meet a teacher, Guru, the person must not go with empty hand. So therefore, by that, the student expresses his attitude of seva. So, in the presence of all this, only Jnanam will happen. Otherwise, Jnanam will not happen. Shastram says. So, therefore, this is the protocol. So, Upasidet Gurum, and Guru is also defined. Another word is there, Pragyamiti. Kidrisham Guru, Gurum Gachet. What type of Guru is he? Pragyam. Pragyam means Vedanta Shastragyaha. The one who has the knowledge of the Vedanta Shastram, that is Upanishad. Sakshat Krita Brahma Tattvaha. For the one, that one who has got the Sakshat. Brahma Tattvam is the one who has known intimately the Brahma Tattva. Tasya Guroho Samipe Gatva Upasidet Tam Sharanam Gachet. So approaching the Guru with humility and ask the Atmana Tattva Jignasuhu must approach and ask. That also is what question, approaching what question asked, that also is said later, in fact. The Shishya asks some questions, 6 or 8 questions. Vivekachudamani itself presents what is the protocol, how to approach, how to ask, what are the questions a person can ask. If you don't know, the Acharya himself says. So therefore, approaching the Guru Pragyam, the person who is knowledgeable, Pragyam, by which having approached and taught by the teacher, Yasmat Bandha Vimokshanam. So Guru will teach us here, Guru Upadeshena, the samsara bandha, which is Ajnana Kritam, samsara which is due to Ajnanam, that Ajnanam, Ajnanavrittihi happens, therefore Bandha Vimokshanam. Therefore, Guru Upadeshena, Jnanam Sambhavati and Jnanena Ajnana Nivrittihi, therefore Mokshaha. To put it negatively, without Guru, Jnanam is not possible, and without Jnanam, Moksha is not possible. So this is the meaning of this shloka, which we have seen, just recollecting. Then this also, I think some portion we have seen, we have read. Ukta sadhana sampannaha. Uktani vichara sadhanatvena katitani yani vivekadini sadhanani. Taihi sampannaha yuktaha pumaniti sheshaha. That is, Ukta sadhana sampannaha uktani. The previous shlokas, we have seen the sadhanas, sadhana chatushtaya sampatti. The vichara, those are the sadhanas which are said. Vichara sadhanatvena, for vichara, for inquiry, the sadhana, the primary means. The primary means for vichara yogyata. Vichara sadhanatvena. Vichara sadhanatvena, that is endowed with the sadhana, the means for vichara, in the presence of which only vichara, the inquiry is possible. Because if the person is not qualified, then vichara then cannot be done properly. So therefore, the person is endowed with the sadhana, the means, like viveka, etc., which was said before, discussed elaborately. So they are the means, they are the prerequisites for inquiry into the vichara, the truth. Taihi sampannaha, endowed with that person. Puman iti shesha, we have to supply the word puman, purushaha. Puman means man. Not only man, woman also. Puman iti sheshaha, a person is understood. A person endowed with sadhana chatushtaya sampatti, which are elaborately said before, discussed. What are they? So that person, Atmanaha Swasya Tattvam Jnatum Ichuhu. Simple, all these words you can understand. Swayatatya Jnana Kamaha Upasidet Charanam Gachet. So Atma Tattvam Jnatum Ichuhu. The one who is desirous of knowing one's true nature. So therefore, the person desiring to know one's true nature, that is Swayatatya Jnana Kamaha, the desire for the knowledge, direct knowledge of oneself. Yatatma Jnanam is the knowledge of the truth, the reality. What the person must do, the person upaside may approach, should approach, Sharanam Gachet, to take refuge in whom? Come, Gurum, Upadeshakam, in Guru, Upadeshaka, the teacher, Gurum, Upadeshakam, Gurum, Upadeshakam, Sharanam Gachet. Who is the Guru? Ajnana Andakara Nivarakaha Guru, Acharya, the one who removes the darkness of ignorance. He is the Guru, Tam Gurum Upadeshakam Pasidet Gachet. Kidrisham, that also is said. What type of Guru he must be? Ragyam. Ragyam means Brahmanishtam ityartha. Shastragyam Brahmanishtam. That also is discussed later. The one who has a knowledge of the Shastra, meaning he must have heard from his teacher, therefore he must be a Shrotriya. The person must have listened to the words of the Shastram from his Guru and gained Nishtha in that knowledge. Nishtha means abidance in that knowledge. The knowledge is so crystal clear for him. That person, Pragnya, means one who possesses. Pragnya is Pragnya, who has the knowledge of Brahma, that is Pragnya. One who has the knowledge of Pragya is Pragya. Knowledge of Atma is Pragya. Pragya, Pragya. Tasya Pragya Pratishtita. In Gita comes Pragya. So the fourth Pragyam, a wise man, Pragyam. Acharya himself gives a meaning. Prakrishta Niratishaya Nya Avagatihi Pragya. Prakrishta Niratishaya Nya Avagatihi. That is the person, the person who is Prakrishta Niratishaya. That is the Niratishaya, Niratishaya, meaning the the Prakrishta Prakarshena. Rajna generally means Rajna referring to the intelligence, but in the context of the Vedanta, it has got a different implication. So Prakrishta, very clearly, the person who has got clearly Nya Avagatihi. Nya means to know, knowledge. Nya. Avagatihi, understanding. Nya Avagatihi, clear understanding of the Atma. Krishna Prajna. What is that? Brahma Sakshatkaraha. Atma Sakshatkaraha, the knowledge of the Atma. So Prakrishta Avagatihi, Brahma Prajna, Brahma Sakshatkaraha. So Brahma Sakshatkaraha, that Prajna. It is Brahmanishta ityartaha. So Nya means Brahma Sakshatkara Rupa Buddhi. Avagatihi means understanding. Understanding the knowledge happens in where? In the Buddhi. So Jna is avagatihi, that is avagatihi, meaning that buddhi which is endowed with the knowledge. So jna avagatihi, understanding of the Atma Tattvam very clearly. Understanding of the Prakrishta Atma Tattvam very clearly. That is, the person is Brahmanishta ityartaha, Brahma Sakshatkaraha. That also Acharya explains what is that is. So Prakrishta Niratishya. Niratishya means Sarvottama, Sarvasreshta. The knowledge is the greatest of all the knowledges. Niratishaya. Jna is knowledge, Vidya. In the language of Mundaka Upanishad, Sarva Vidya Pratishta. Among all the knowledges, the among all the knowledges, Sarva Vidya Pratishta, the greatest of all knowledges is Brahma Vidya. Because all the other knowledges, if at all the word knowledges is there, all the other knowledge is possible in the presence of only because of this knowledge. That is why this knowledge is Sarva Vidya Pratishta. Meaning, in the presence of Chaitanya Atma only, all other knowledge is possible. And the knowledge of the very Chaitanya, therefore Niratishaya. Jna Avagatihi. Avagati means understanding. Understanding as what? Not as a Vishaya, as oneself. Therefore, Brahma Sakshatkara Rupa, that Buddhihi, the one who as, that person is Prajnaha. Prajna is Avagatihi. Prajna is understanding. Understanding that truth, the Vishaya, the Atma, the one who has understanding, one who is endowed with the understanding of this, that person is Brahmanishtaha, Brahma Sakshatkaraha. One who has got direct anubhuti, the understanding, the realization. We don't use the word realization, anyway, we can use anubhuti, direct knowledge of one's own true nature. That is prajna. Prajnaha. Prajnaha means buddhiman ityartaha, locally. The context of Vedanta is it's got a special meaning. And Vivekachudamani itself, Acharya, he explains the word prajnaha, where here Acharya quotes Brahmatmano Shodhitayoreka Shodhitayoreka bhavavahini Nirvikalpa cha chinmatra vrittihi prajneti katyate. So prajna is Vivekachudamani, it is said Brahmatmanoho Shodhitayoho Eka Bhava Avahagini. Eka Bhava Avahagini Nirvikalpa Chinmatra Vrittihi. So Vrittihi, which is Nirvikalpa. Vritti is the thoughts of the mind, which is Nirvikalpa, which is unconditioned Nirvikalpa. There is no Vikalpa. And it is Chinmatra Vritti. So Prajna, the Vritti, which is Vrittihi, Vitragi Srilinga, the Nirvikalpa. Vritti, which is unconditioned, and it is Chinmatra, and the Vritti is of the Shuddha Chaitanyam, Chitta alone, and Brahmatmanoho, Shodhitayoho, the oneness of Atma and Brahma. Shodhitayoho, Eka, Brahmatmanoho, Shodhitayoho, Eka Bhava. Eka Bhava means oneness of Atma and Brahma. Avahagini, that Avahagini also Srilinga, because Vritti is Srilinga. Therefore, that Vritti, which is unconditional and which is Chinmatra, Chit Eva, your consciousness. Vritti, the thoughts are directed towards Chaitanyam, towards Atma, understanding it. And Avagagini, Avagagana means Grinnati, Avagagate, grasp the oneness of Atma and Brahma. Brahmatmanoho Shoditayoho Eka Bhava Avahagini. So in the Mahavakya, Tatu Tvam Asi, the Acharya gives you Upadesha. Tatu Brahma. Tvam is this Atma, Jivatma. Tatu Paramatma, Tvam Jivatma. So Tattvapadam, Tvam Padam. So therefore, Padayogo Shodhanam Kurutva. Shodhanam is analyzing the Tatpadam, the meaning of the word Tat, that is meaning that, referring to Paramatma, and the Tvam referring to Jivatma, Shodhanam Kurutva, analyzing the meaning of the Tatpadam and Tvam Tayoho, Ekabhavaha is Abhedaha, non-difference, non-duality, oneness. Ekabhavaha, oneness. That is, Tat is Tvam, you are that. Paramatma, Jagat Karnam, Yaha Paramatma, Tat Tvam Asi, you are that. Therefore, Ekabhavaha, Abhedaha, that vritti, by the vritti, it is understood. The vritti is produced by knowledge. Therefore, tam, that ekabhavaha, tam, ya avahahate grinnati, that is the vritti. By the vritti, it is understood. Therefore, therefore, avahagini ya vrittihi, nirvikalpa, Suddha Chaitanya Rupa, this antakarana vrittihi, that is called prajna. That is called prajna iti uchyate. Prajna, therefore, prajna meaning vritti. Prajna meaning vritti. Vritti means thoughts. Thoughts of what? Thoughts of Atma. That is the knowledge of the Atma which is born by the Shastra Pramanam. The knowledge, the At, the not the Atma Jnanam is also only in the form of vritti. Vritti Janyam eva. It is born because Ajnanam is in the form of vritti. Aham samsari, aham sukhi, aham dukhi, aham this shariraman, I am this body, mind, sense complex. This is Ajnanam. In the form of vritti only, in the form of thoughts. Otherwise, what? How it is? In the form of thoughts only. The thoughts of the mind. Manaha eva bandha karanam moksha karanam api. So mind alone is the cause for bondage, mind alone is the cause for moksha also. So the thoughts. So Ajnanam in the form of thoughts. The Ajnanam should be removed by the thoughts alone, by the Jnana Vritti. So Ajnanam is an error, and it is in the form of a thought. The thought that has to be, that is wrong knowledge. The wrong knowledge should be replaced by right knowledge. Knowledge is generated by the Pramanam, as taught by the teacher. Therefore, right knowledge knocks off the wrong knowledge. That is what moksha is. Therefore, since it is in the form of the vritti thoughts, therefore prajna, the nirvikalpa, Shuddha Chaitanya Rupa, Chinmatra, this Antakarana Vritti is called Prajna iti. And the Vritti, the Antakaranam, which is which which is in the form of the knowledge, that is the understanding that Atma and Brahma are same. So therefore, the one who has this Vritti, that Prajna, is called Prajnaha. The one who has this Vritti, therefore the Vritti is Akhandakara Vritti. Unbroken vritti, the thought. That is, unbroken thought means the thoughts changes, but in all the in and through all the thoughts, you cannot miss the Chaitanyam. So when you observe a tree, tree is the is that now the thought is tree. Next thought tree is replaced by mountain. Mountain is the thoughts change. But when you see the tree consciousness, the object of the thought is tree. That there is a tree vritti, tree thought. The tree thought, the tree is illumined by consciousness, Chaitanyam. Therefore, it is you have the tree consciousness now. When you see a tree goes away, replaced by mountain. Is mountain consciousness. Mountain goes away, replaced by a bush consciousness. So your thoughts keeps on changing. What about the consciousness, Chaitanya, Atma? That doesn't change. So in spite of all the changing thoughts, one doesn't lose the vision of the Chaitanyam, the Atma. That person is called Prajnaha. How beautiful the definition is. The Prajna, the meaning of the word Prajnaha, it means Brahmanishtaha ityataha Guruhu. He is the Guru. So Tadrashyasya Guroho Samipam Gatva. Such type of teacher. But all in the world is there. You have to go to that teacher. It is there, of course. Living example, Swamiji was there. So therefore, that is the teacher, Brahma Sakshatkaraha. So therefore, Prajna iti katyate. So the Shloka 428, it comes later, where it is defined. So that vritti, akandakara vritti, that is Prajnaha, the one who has got this Prajna yasya asti, Prajnaha. Ashadibhyaha ach, by that sutra, Kadita sutra, Prajnaha eva Prajnaha. Ashadibhyaha ach, Prajnaha, all same only. Yasya Prajna asti, saha Prajnaha, Brahmanishtaha iti artaha. The one who who has this this vritti, this thought, this Brahma Sakshatkara vritti, Akandakara vritti, that person is Prajnaha Guru, meaning the person is a Brahmanishta established in Brahma. Iti Vakshamanat, it is going to be said later, the whole Vakshamanat. So therefore, the Prajna is Brahma Sakshatkaraha. That is Brahma Sakshatkaraha. It is in the form of Avagati, the knowledge. Yeah, Avagatihi. Niratishaya Prakrishta. Prakarshena. Niratishaya. That because the Atma is Niratishaha. Atma is not available for the Jnanam is Niratishaya Jnanam, unsurpassable knowledge. And Prakrishta. Therefore, Prajna is the knowledge, the understanding of the Atma Tattvam as oneself, that is Prajnaha, Brahma Sakshatkaraha, Guruhu iti artaha. And therefore, such a teacher, a person must approach. Acharya says, Sa asya asti iti prajnaha, saha eva prajnaha. So prajnaha eva prajnaha. So the one who has the Akandakara vritti, Brahma Sakshatkara, Brahma Sakshatkara is in the form of vritti alone. Vritti meaning the thought. Thought is understanding. So understanding of Brahma in the form of that Aham Brahma Asmi, that in the form of thought alone. Therefore, that Prajna, the Vritti, Yasya Asti, the one who has, that person is Prajnaha, that Prajna alone is called Prajnaha. Prajna alone is called Prajnaha. Tam Brahmanishtam ityartaha, that Brahmanishta, the person must approach. Tena swasya palam aha. Tena swasya palam aha, that is approaching such a person. The palam is said. What is the palam? Bandha vimokshanam is a palam. The result of approaching such a teacher and gaining knowledge from such a teacher is freedom from samsara. That is the palam, the result. Yasmat Yasmat Yadrisha Guroho Sakashat. Bandha Vimokshanam Bandhasya Ajnanakalpitasya Ahankari Dehantasya Vimokshanam Visheshena Parityagaha iti. So, Yasmat Yadrisha Guroho, approaching such a teacher, approaching such a teacher, such a teacher, Yadrisha Guroho, Yasmat, Yadrisha Guroho Sakashat. Yadrisha Kidrisha Guru, that is such a teacher who has the Brahmanishta, is Muktaha, is free, Jivan Muktaha, Tadrishasya Sakashat Sanipam Gatva, Bandha Vimokshanam. Bandha is Ajnana Kalpita. Bondage is Kalpita. It is imagined. Real bondage is not real. If bondage is real, then moksha also becomes real. If moksha is real, really then if bondage is real, moksha also has to be real. If bondage is real, then removal of bondage cannot be done by knowledge. It has to be accomplished by karma because it is real. If bondage is real, the removal of bondage is done by karma, then moksha is real. And bondage also is real. Therefore, what will happen after moksha? Again, bondage can come because it is real. So, a real thing cannot be knocked off by another real thing because both are real. So, therefore, bondage is not real. Because it is not real, therefore, only Jnanam can remove that because the bondage in the form of a notion, aham baddhaha, aham samsari iti, in the form of the notion, that is wrong notion, that is ajnanam, it is ajnana kalpitam, imagined by ajnanam, ajnana kalpitasya bandhasya, ahankarari rehantasya, ahankarat arabhya, aham iti, that ahankara, that abhimana is there, aham. See, when we say aham brahmasmi, there aham is Shuddha Chaitanya Atma. But ahankara is different. Ahankara is abhimana with whatever I have, I possess. Starting from what? Starting from Stula Pariyat. Starting from the my accomplishments, my buddhi onwards, Sukshma. So whatever skill, whatever knowledge, whatever qualifications, what worldly qualification, material qualification, and up to the body. So suppose if I am intelligent in certain area, that is I have this knowledge, I know this, that is ahankara. So that I have this, it's a I have this, that is not you, you have possessed that. So therefore, ahankara tarabhya, starting from ahankara, I am so and so. What is so and so? I am is now is shifted to what you possess, what you have. I am is I am only. Shuddha Atma, this Shuddha Chaitanyam. But it is superimposed or that it is intertwined, it is connected with by anatma. That is, aham is loaded with attributes, anatma attributes, your accomplishments. Therefore, aham, I am so and so, iti, that abhimana. Starting from the vritti, subtle thoughts up to the stula dega. Stula dega is a grossest. I am this body. What are the features of the body that I take to be myself? So there is such an intrinsic, such an intense abhimana with the shariram. Anything happens to the shariram, it happens to me. It happens to me. That is, body is having trouble. Body is having trouble, but we don't say it is body. I suffer. Even though the expression is I have headache, but headache is so intense and I know it is that Abhimana is so intense. We don't see the headache as headache objectively. Head is having headache, but we don't say head is having headache. I have headache. That is the headache is intrinsically, intensely experience, and it is there is Abhimana with that, with the either with the trouble or either with the pleasures of the mind. So that was the stula experience, gross experience is the gross experience is makes the abhimana very stronger, and because of the pleasure, because of the pleasure or the pain which are intensely experienced, the abhimana also therefore getting intense. So therefore stula deha paryantam, we perceive, we interact with the outside world with the stula deha, and therefore there is contact of the sense objects with the sense organs, gross sense organs. The gross sense organs, there is an interaction. So the sense organs, to sense organs, I derive pleasure or pain. And the pain and pleasure which are experienced by me through the body, and the body is just a tool, but we don't look upon it as a tool. Mind is also a tool. We don't look upon it as a tool. It is me. That Abhimana, intense Abhimana is that is Ajnana Kalpita. We use pen, for example, pen is an instrument. We throw and use another one. We know that is a karana, it's an instrument. Similarly with the mobile or car, it's an instrument. But like that, we don't have Abhimana with the body. Of course, with the new car, we are so much attached to the car. The car is myself. Anything happens to the car, it happens to me. Because Abhimana, so much Abhimana is there for the new car. What to talk about the body then? What to talk about the mind? So Ahankara referring to the Antakaranam onwards, Sukshma. And Stula is gross. So that Sambandha is that the Ajnana Kalpita, that is Samsara Bandha it is. Therefore, Ajnana Kalpita, Tasya Mula, Tasya Tasma, Tasya Nashaha, that is Parityagaha, giving up. How do you give up? You cannot give up like that. I'm not this body. You cannot throw the body. Body is not meant to be thrown, not to be given up. Giving up only in the form of knowledge. Body is given, it should be looked upon as a tool. It's a sadhanam. Shariram karu dharma sadhanam. It is given. We are the trustees of the body. The body is given, sense organs are given, mind is given. All this meant for use, not for abuse. So it should be looked upon as a tool. I am the one who uses that. I am not that. Identifying with the karana, the instruments, as myself is ajnanam, ajnana kalpita. Ahankara tarabhya stula dega paryantam. And that is ajnanam, that ajnanasya nashaha. Ajnanasya nashaha eva mokshaha. That ajnanam which is bandha, that bandha, the bondage is due to this ajnanam. And the bandha vimokshanam is bandha vimokshanam, freedom from this bandha is what is moksha is, and moksha is only through the knowledge as imparted by the Guru. Therefore, bandha vimokshanam is bandhasya parityagaha, vimokshanam is visheshana parityagaha. Visheshanam is understanding and giving up. Parityagaha. That is what real renunciation, tyaga, sannyasa. It is not just by words, by clear understanding, thorough vision. The vision of that aham atma asmi, that atma is atma. I don't have this abhimana of atma on anything else. I is atma. Shuddha I, Shuddha atma. Atma is ever Shuddha. Can never be contaminated. It appears as though mixed up with anatma and therefore appears as though contaminated. It is ever uncontaminated, it is pure. That is why we say Shuddha Chaitanyam. So understanding that, knowing that is what is moksha is. And that is by removal of this ajnanam, which is kalpita, which is imagined upon the Atma. Therefore, ajnana kalpita is bandha, and tasmat bandhat mokshaha, freedom. That is bandha vimokshanam, parityagaha. So therefore, tadrisha guru upasadane, and and therefore, since moksha is in the form of the knowledge has to be gained from the teacher. Therefore, approaching the teacher, such a teacher who has the knowledge of Brahma, who is the Brahmanishta, Brahma Sakshatkaraha, who is Prajnaha, so Tadrisha Guru Upasadane, Tad Upadesha Janya, Swayatatma Jnanena, not just by approaching the teacher and standing in front of him the whole day. No. The teacher, going to the teacher, asking him for knowledge. Therefore, first is Guroho Upasadanam, Guru Upasadanam, and Guru Padeshaha. Tadupadesha means Tasya Upadeshaha, Kasya Guroho Upadeshaha. Upadesha of what? Atma, Atma Padesha. So Tadupadeshaha, Guroho Upadesha, or Atma Padesha also we can take. Guru what? Guru teaches. What does the Guru teach? Atma. And therefore, Upadesha Janyam, what is born of the Upadesha, the teaching, the Shastra, which is Swasya, Yatatmyam, Swasya Yatatmyam, Yatatmyam, Yatatmya Jnanam, Yatatmya Jnanam, Tadupadesha Janyam Cha Tat Yatatmya Jnanam, Tadupadesha Janya Yatatmya Jnanam Tena. So the knowledge, Upadesha Janya, the knowledge born of the Upadesha, and the Upadesha with regard to the Atma, the reality. Swayatatmya means Swasya Yatatmyam, Swasya, knowledge of the reality of oneself. Tena, by that, Bandha Nivritti, Rupa Mokshaha. Bandha Nivritti, Bandhasya Nivritti, Bandha Nivritti, removal of Bandha, bondage. And the Bandha Nivritti, which, and Moksha, which is in the form of the removal of this Bandha, Bandha Nivritti, Mokshaha. Bandha Nivritti Rupaha, Mokshaha, Karmadarya Samasa. Bandhasya Nivritti, Bandha Nivritti. Bandha Nivritti, Rupam Yasya, Bandha Nivritti Rupaha. Bandha Rupa Nivritti, Nivritti Rupaha, Mokshaha Siddhyati iti Bhavaha. That is what Moksha is. Moksha is gained in the form of knowledge, and that knowledge is Moksha is the knowledge is gained from the teacher, and Moksha is only through Jnanam, and Jnanam removes Bandha. That is Moksha. So, so therefore, approaching such a teacher, a person, Dharmanishta, the person gains knowledge and becomes free from samsara. Vimokshana means complete giving up of this, giving up, parityagaha. Parityaha means that it's not just given up by, no, cannot be done. Letting go cannot be done with one's physical hands. It is through knowledge, self-knowledge, Atmajnanam, which is produced by the Guru Upadesha, the teaching of the Guru. When Ajnanam is destroyed, Bandha is also destroyed, and that is moksha. Then only moksha is accomplished, and that is moksha. So, Shvetashvatara Upanishad says, Tamevam viditva atimrutyameti, nanyas panta vidyate yanaya. So, for Paramatma Swarupam, Nyata eva Manushyaha Mrityum Samsara Bandham Tarati. Only by gaining the knowledge of the Atma, this samsara bandha is crossed over by a person. Atmana vindate viryam, vidyaya vindate mritam. We have seen this vakya where in Kenopanishad. So Atmana eva amritatvam bandha mokshanam prapyate. Brahmavida apnoti param. Brahmavita param apnoti. Param is moksha. The one who knows Brahma, Brahmaveta. Param apnoti, moksham apnoti. So therefore moksha, for moksha that which is freedom from samsara, that is gained by knowledge of Brahma. the Brahma, which is Paramatma. So therefore, Aham Tat, Aham Brahma Asmi. By that knowledge alone, moksha is gained. That is what is moksha is all about. So therefore, this Jnanagni destroy this samsara. Yathethamsi samidhognihi basmasat kurute Arjuna. Jnanagni sarva karmani basmasat kurute tata. We have seen in Gita. Like the fire, Edhamsi, the fire converts everything into ash, just burns everything. Similarly, the fire of knowledge destroys all the karma, and makes a person free. Because of karma, there is punarjanma, and there is again karma, papa punya, and therefore there is janma, again marana, the samsara cycle. So to snap this samsara cycle, to get the samsara cycle, that is possible only by knowledge, jnanagni. It removes the ajnanam. When ajnanam is gone, then kartrutva, bhoktrutva is gone. Therefore, all the karmas are also destroyed. Therefore, there is no rebirth. Therefore, no rebirth, and therefore there is no death also. Vidyate hridaya grantihi chidyante sarva samshayaha kshiyante chasi karmani tasmin drishte paravare. One who has a vision of this paravara Brahma, for them this hridaya grantihi, that is samsara, is snapped. All the karmas are destroyed, all the doubts are removed. That person becomes free. That is bandha vimokshanam siddhyati. Therefore, tadrisham gurum prapya, tena upadesham prapya, bandha mokshanat vimuktaha bhavati. This adhikari purushaha, this mumukshuhu, iti. Next shloka, we will see. We will see the next class. Om Purnamadah Purnamidham Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Dhanyavadah.
धन्यवाद गुरुजी.
धन्यवाद जी. धन्यवाद जी.
धन्यवाद.
धन्यवाद गुरुजी.